such a good intro.
Yeah, I just like the countdown. I was like, welcome back to this week's Slightly Average, guys. We appreciate everybody joining with us. We are live and getting ready to talk about, first off, whether or not we're actually a-holes. I feel like, that's been said about me plenty of times before, and I feel like there's a little bit of truth to it and a little bit not, because we all have one. Sometimes you get wiped and a finger pokes through. I just saying that's life. It's what's going on. And I really want to ask you guys, start off this week with one major question, right? One major question, which is we get into different unique scenarios where, things happen and we kind of just brush it off and it's not a big deal. But yet if you were to put yourself in a different scenario, same outcome, or you would have a different outcome. What I mean by that, say we're in a pool, right? Say the three of us are in a pool. It's a party, things are going on, craziness, right? And Teeter just decides, hey, he just pees in the pool. And it's
Why does it have to be me?
It's got to be you. You've had a little too much to drink. All right, okay. Both Andy and I would probably be like, damn it, man, you couldn't have got out and just like peed against the fence, like, 2 feet from the pool, like this guy, right? But like you still go on with your life, right? But let's cut a different scenario here, right? Ryan's got to pee. He gets to get up out of the pool and decides, I'm just going to piss on Andy. It's the same thing. Well, but yeah, it would be a completely different scenario that would happen, that would play out because Andy got R. Kelly'd.
So am I whipping it out, or am I just like going to give Andy a hug and peeing while I'm hugging him?
Ooh, again.
It's basically the same thing.
It's all the same thing. Yet in the basic scenario of just peeing in the pool, it's not that big a deal. But
okay,
I have never peed in a pool.
Same.
I've peed in the pool before. Not as an adult. I've peed in the pool plenty as a kid.
No.
Andy, you're not kidding?
No, I've never done it. I always thought it was gross.
Andy's never peed in a pool.
No.
Okay. So that's what we're talking about the rest of this podcast.
Well, let's also be clear. Andy doesn't like the water. Okay.
Show me on the doll where somebody hurt you.
Yeah. Where did they touch you? Okay.
I've done other things in the pool.
Pooped? You pooped in the pool?
Definitely.
I mean, that is the other scenario that we're likely to talk about right now.
I have accidentally.
Okay. Hang on. Tell the story. This was not where we were going, but this is not on the docket. You tell this story.
One of those things where you don't trust a fart.
Well,
you were trying to fart in the pool?
Yeah, I guess. Yeah.
Okay.
What is trying to fart in the pool and a little nugget came out?
No.
I mean, that's the story. There's nothing much else to tell.
Nope. I got too many questions.
It off like that wasn't me, but then I knew it was me, so I went to grab like the little scooper thing,
float up,
and threw it into the river.
Okay, hang on. How old were you?
Last week.
Like middle school.
Okay, all right.
Old enough to not poop in the pool. Might have been like early high school.
I'm thinking like this was like 3 weeks ago.
That's no. This was when we were driving around the St. Joe River.
I mean, the St. Joe River is just a big turd. So
no, I know, but I threw it from the pool into the river.
Oh, okay. I see then. Then it's not as big of a deal.
Yeah.
Okay.
Another poop story for Ryan Teeter.
That's a lot.
Oh yeah. Damn. I'm at a loss for words right now because all I can think of is is it Beverly Hills Cop where he's like, it's a baby Ruth, or no, that was Caddyshack. It's a baby Ruth.
And he eats it.
Yeah.
I just can't believe, Andy, even though you've gone into what are those called? Like there are water parks. Oh, that's exactly what they are water parks. You've gone to a water park and you have not peed anywhere in that water park besides the bathroom.
No.
You have not taken a bathtub. Okay, that might be a little gross. And peed in the bathtub.
Shower, but not bathtub.
Hot tub.
No. I've never been immersed in water and peed.
It's like the best thing ever.
Submerged in water. Yeah.
Interesting.
I'm again at a loss for words to try to figure out how in the hell that's even possible.
Listen, I will make a promise right now that I will fulfill during this summer when we go on summer vacation
to Ryan's pool,
wherever the next pool I'm in. I'm marking my territory.
Ryan, Let's have Andy over for a pool party.
Oh
We're
no,
doing it.
no.
If it gets
We're gonna
really
take him to
warm,
somebody else's house.
Yeah, I'm gonna get real close to somebody and make it awkward.
We're gonna put blue dye in there, just like they do in that adults movie or whatever.
Yes. Yeah.
Oh Jesus! All right. Well, let's get past number 1 and number 2.
Yeah, it's me. And then
I got nothing. Other
I got
than
nothing.
I want to talk about Christmas decorations or Christmas traditions, right? I feel like this year, because Ryan's getting married at the time that is Christmas, because he's absolutely insane, that anyway, so because he's getting married when he's getting married, my wife actually decided that it was going to be okay for me to put up Christmas decorations prior to. You guys are fucking around and it's totally throwing me off. I'm just watching you two. Just this here. Now it's just gonna be me. It's just gonna be the slightly average guy rather than the slightly average guy.
Amazing.
Yes.
That's amazing.
Anyway, so Ryan's getting married at Christmas this year. So
Mhm.
Christmas is my favorite holiday, but since Christmas is falling during his wedding and we will not be here.
oh, I'm ruining Christmas for you.
Yeah, pretty much.
Selfish.
Yeah, son of a
So
bitch.
selfish.
My wife decided, hey, it was okay to go ahead and put up Christmas decorations early. To which she was like, oh, I didn't realize you were going to put up the tree, and I thought you were just going to put up the stuff outside. I'm like, what? No, you said it, because she's one person that's always like, no, you cannot put it up till the day after Thanksgiving. You can't put it up any earlier. So this year, she said I could put it up earlier. So I went ahead and did that. Every year I got to step it up, whether it's like just buying one little pack of lights or something. Always got to do that. This year I spent a decent amount of time replacing crap that didn't work from the previous year. So that always sucks. But Andy, did you start a new family tradition this year?
We did.
So I heard you bought a 1986 station wagon,
Mhm.
and you guys decided
Green and brown.
Green
Yep.
and brown. Yep.
Yep.
You had originally ordered the deluxe mommy missile, which would have been a minivan, but
Mhm.
they came out with a wagon that was much older.
Family
Decided to pick
truckster, as we like to call it.
There we go. There we go.
Yeah.
So explain your new tradition that you guys started this year that will probably be the last time you did it.
Yeah, so we went to cut down our own Christmas tree, and we went to. So first off, you can buy a permit through the Forest Service. You go on.
Wait,
Where,
like,
like,
are
if
you
you're-
truly out in the wild? You didn't just like go to
Yeah.
a tree farm?
No,
Oh,
it is way so. So we buy the permit. We bought it in like September, October. So we went with another family who did it last year, and we drove to a part of Arizona that I didn't even know existed. It was like 6.5 hours away. So we drove all the way up past the Grand Canyon and then came down. We were in a place called Marble Canyon. Never been there, never heard of it, don't know. We were closer to Utah than we were to any like Arizona city. I didn't even know where we're at, like I said. So a lot of reservation driving, and it's amazing. Like the drive is beautiful because you drive like I can't even explain it. It's just fantastic. So we drive up there. We leave our house at like 4 a.m., 4:30. No, 5:30. We left at 5:30. Packed everybody in the truck. They have this little like bed and breakfast that's up there. And we stay, so we're gonna stay there overnight. So we drive up there, and the other family that we're with, they have this map of the concentration of Christmas trees by type of tree. Because when they went last year, they picked, I don't know what kind of tree, but the wife was like, we have to get a Douglas fir because they're like sturdy and solid. The branches are good because the ornaments they hung on it, it was like, shoo. So we drive up there, and when we got to Marble Canyon, there was snow. And it ranged from a little bit to like 2 or 3 feet because I was like
Holy
almost
cow.
knee deep in snow. Yeah. So for anybody that's seen Christmas Vacation, it is every bit of this awkward, weird drive into nowhere forever. And then we're walking and it's cold and it's windy. We were 8,800 feet up. So it was chilly and windy.
Wow.
And we're just out off to the side of the road. So when you get there, there are literally people parked on the side of the road just walking to cut down trees. just trees. You find
Yeah,
a
fuck
tree,
them.
you cut it. Literally, that's how it is. So the farther, I don't even know what direction we were going, but the farther in, we'll say, the farther in you go, I guess the concentration of the Douglas fir. So we were just kind of like, whatever. It's amazing scenery. There's all these open fields and it's snowy. So we turn off the road. We don't have 4-wheel drive, so I'm not quite sure what to expect. So we turn off. I'm instantly like all over the place. So we just park. People we're with have a Jeep and they brought a trailer. So we're driving around just in the back of the woods somewhere. And it's like a race because there's people. So there's not a ton of people, but there's people. And you're literally just trying to find a tree. So last year they told us that it took them like 11 hours to find the perfect tree. And I was like, no,
my
we are going to get up there. We can't check into the hotel until 3. So we got there at like 12. I was like, we're going to find a tree and we're just going to wait outside. And they had a little restaurant. So anyways, we end up getting a tree because we're just on this road, in this back road, and it's snow and it's just, like I said, amazing scenery. So we're driving and you're just like, oh, what about that one? Because they're all sprinkled and spread out, right? Because of like, I guess they thin the forest quite often. So in case, lightning strikes, the entire state burns down. So we're just back there, man. And we're probably like a good 3 miles on this Forest Service road, just back there. So we get out and I'm like trucking along down this little thing. And I see all these bear tracks that lead right into the tree that we get. And the bear tracks were like, I mean, this guy's feet were this big. So I was telling the husband, I was like, those look like bear tracks. That's kind of cool. He's like, no. So then he gets closer. He's like, yeah, that's a bear. And it like right to the tree, and the bottom was all scruffed up and like branches broken. I was like, that's my tree. I want the bear tree. So we get there. So they brought the saw and all that. So we had this rusty hacksaw. And I looked at my wife. I was like, here you go. You want the tree. You better cut that bad boy down.
I thought you wanted the tree.
Well, I did, but I was like, she liked it too. So I let her decide because I was like, pick this one. And so it's really hard to find one that's full. And I did not know this. Some of these trees are wildly deceiving. You see it and you're like, that's the one. You get closer, like halfway to 3/4 up, it branches off into two trees. It's so bizarre. So anyways, we end up getting it. We throw it on the back of their trailer. We drive a couple more miles in. We end up turning around. We come back and we're just driving. We get out. And this is like 45 minutes later. I get out and I'm like stretching. And, hey, our tree's not on the trailer. So we had to get back in the Jeep because we didn't tie it down. We had to get back in the Jeep and go find it. And it was just there in the middle of the road.
Oh my God.
So we ended up getting 2 trees. We got like a 4-foot tall pine tree, which, by the way, those things are sharp as you know what. I cut myself and poked myself so many times grabbing that stupid thing. The tree. So the other part that you don't appreciate is like perspective. So you're driving and the tree might be 10 feet off of the road on a hill. And you're like, oh, that's a great tree. That fucking tree is 30 feet tall. And you don't realize that it's 30 feet tall until you get out and go try to cut that thing down.
You bring like a tape measure?
Yeah. Well, we should have, because you're only allowed to cut down 10-foot trees. Well, we cut our tree down, don't think anything of it, throw it in the back of our truck. So we have a Ram 1500 with the regular size bed. It's like 5'7", right? The bed's down. So there was probably about 3 feet of overhang. We get home. That thing is like 11 and a half feet tall. I was not expecting that. Yeah. So anyways, it was a blast. We stayed there at that night. They have this little lodge. I mean, that's essentially what it looked like. I can't tell you how many cars we saw just like that, man. So, it's in the back of the truck. Both trees are in the back. It was great. Tied them down. Wasn't a big deal. But like the place we stayed was so sketchy because it's this tiny little like lodge bed and breakfast. Their restaurant is, how like old school diners have that like sit up bar.
Oh yeah.
That's their restaurant. And it was like in this horseshoe shape. And the guy talking to us, who was the waiter, was telling us about, he went on his mission and then he wants to be like a civil engineer. And I was like, and nobody asked. That's the weird part. Nobody asked him, like, what are you doing here?
Thanks for coming here, guys. Let me tell you my story.
the bus boy was like from New Zealand. I didn't even want to go into that story because I was just like, I don't even know what we're getting ourselves into.
How did you get from New Zealand to here? Out of
I have
any
no
other
idea.
place you could have been, why
I have
here?
no idea. But it was packed. It was absolutely packed, and I was blown away. So, at the end of the day, like, it was a great time, a lot of driving, but I would definitely do it again. The kids didn't really care. And so the other family, they have 3 daughters, and they were kind of like, whatever. So all the kids hung out with each other and
Played in the
snowball
snow.
fights and
Yeah.
had a ball. Now, the weirdest part of the trip, we're messing around, and one of the girls goes, "Is this a spine?" And I was like, "Stop it. What kind of question is that? Is this a spine? Who asks that?" Also, you should be able to tell if it's a spine. Sure as shit, it was a spine. So I went over there, and it was probably about, I don't know, 3 or 4 feet long. And I'm like, "Is this a body?" The only reason I thought that is because it was wrapped up in a black tarp. And I was like, did we just uncover like a cold case?
Yeah.
So no joke, we've got sticks and we're like messing it up and like disturbing this little gravesite. It's like, what if there's a skull? Like, weird, morbid, but what if? Because
that's what you were going to use to determine if it was human or not. You were actually looking for a skull, and then if you did, they would have been like, "Did you mess with it?" No,
nope,
not at all.
Listen,
Bear
I
got
like
to it.
Predator style. Like, I got the head on the skull, and like I'm taking this shit back with me, and I'm sticking it on the truck. You know what I'm saying?
You're gonna cut it open, start eating soup out of the head.
Skull. I'm pretty sure it was an animal, but it was weird because it was right by the road, though. So it was just an odd thing. I highly recommend it. It was a blast. The scenery is amazing. You know, the drive is just fantastic. There's a part where you cross a bridge where the Grand Canyon starts and like the Colorado River, so you can walk over it and see it. So, you know, for anybody that's like nature people, Ryan, I know you love to do like national parks and stuff like that. It's just really, really nice to just be nowhere. And it was funny too, because my daughter goes, it was that night, which was like 14 degrees that night. She goes, "Dad, why are there so many stars out?" And I was like, "Well, that's what happens when you're high up like this." And she goes, "But it's also weirdly quiet." And I go, "Again, we're in the middle of freaking nowhere." So
there's no city,
and it's dark
around
too.
Yeah, it was super dark. So had a blast, love it. We're gonna do it again next year. Probably go a little farther in each time to like, you know, sort of figure it out. But it was just so much fun to do all that. We figured out like a better way to break up the drive and all, but it was.
You learn that you need to tie the damn tree down.
Yeah, no big deal.
So
Which also
was the tree fucked up after you picked it up off the road?
No, because we were still on the snow and we were going like 5 miles an hour on the back
okay.
road.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
it wasn't on the
back
main road. No,
I was thinking
sorry.
like the highway, and then like people are driving around it. And...
Well, now you got to show us a picture of the tree. Not now, but you got to like post.
Yeah, I will. It's humongous.
It's
like,
not that little one behind you that you cut down with a pair of scissors.
This guy. I can't figure out which way to go. No,
snip,
not that guy. No, but the one in our bedroom is really nice, and it's weird too. Like I said, they're very deceiving, and trying to find one that you buy on a lot that's like full and I don't know, plump might be a good adjective to describe that. It's almost like it doesn't exist. Now maybe we would have found it if we went farther back, but it was still fun though. Just to be out in nature and, you know, have that ability. And so when you buy your permit, you can cut down 5 trees. So
holy cow!
But they can only be 10 feet tall.
Yeah.
Add up to 10 feet or total?
Each one can be 10 feet.
No, they all have to be an increment and total 10 feet. So you can
I got a 3 foot.
5 2 foot.
Now we
5
need a 1
2 foot trees. Yeah. No, but it was great. So I mean, I don't know if new tradition. I think it was great. I don't think my kids had as much fun as they probably thought they were going to have. So we'll just leave them home next year. They don't care. They care less. But.
See, when we lived in Indiana, every year we would, my dad and my sister and me and stepmom, whoever was available would essentially go with us to go cut down trees. Now we would go to a tree farm because it was literally like 4 blocks down the road from where we lived, which was great. But the place was massive. You still had to like ride tractors and stuff back because it was many freaking acres and stuff. It was absolutely huge. And like even then you would find trees that were like totally geriatric, like you're talking about, you know, the trunks all crooked and do different stuff. And like something stupid always happened almost every single year. Like whether we ended up with a dumb looking tree that looked great while you were out there, and then you get it back and it's like, you know, short, stumpy, and like 18 feet wide, but like 3 feet tall. You're like, why did that look so great? But they would give you a pole. because you paid by the foot.
Okay.
So, they would give you a pole that you could judge it. So that way, that's how you measured it and everything else.
figure
The
it
reason
out,
why I'm
yeah.
telling you this is because one year we're close to the front, which we normally never go look at trees up there. But we were trying to find one of the poles. So my sister goes and grabs one of the poles. There's a road right there where they keep, taking it's not a tram. It's literally a tractor that people are riding on the back in a friggin' like hay thing. So we're like walking around, and mind you, it's a tree farm. So everything's like in rows and different stuff, but everybody's started to cut a ton of stuff down at this point. So there's always stumps everywhere, but the stumps are clearly in rows, whether you're forward or backward or left to right. It's not hard to know where they're at. But anyway, so we've been there for like 45 minutes. Sister goes and finds one of these poles, comes back, and she's so excited. She's like, yeah, holding it above her head. And I'm seeing the whole thing the whole entire time. Stepmom's looking at me. So she doesn't see it, but she's running, hits one of these stumps, and no shit, Superman's that shit like full on, because it was like a little bit of a ravine
Decline.
down. Yeah, decline down,
Nice.
like right where she was coming from. She hits it full Superman's and doesn't attempt to even try to catch herself. And I see boom, and like land and bounce off of the ground. And to which I'm like, oh shit, It happened to be at the exact same time that the tram's going past with the little tractor guy, and the tractor guy slams on the brakes, and everybody's like, oh. At this point, she's like, looks like she's convulsing. I am laughing so hard, I'm almost pissing my pants, because I realize she's laughing is actually what's happening. So I know she must be at least a little bit alert and not, dying. But I'm losing my shit because I see the whole thing. It just looked like Looney Tunes, essentially.
I love it.
To this day. One of the greatest memories I have about Christmases and going and tree hunting. Ryan, do you have any cool stories that reside around cutting down trees?
We had a fake tree.
Oh.
Always. So, and I hated setting it up because I was forced to. Essentially, you're sitting down and you're helping us with the tree. So it's never something I wanted to do. So definitely don't like Christmas. I'll hang lights and stuff, and I'm excited to do that. But not going to happen this year because obviously we're leaving.
Yeah.
But I am excited to hang up Christmas lights next year. Not so much decorate a tree or get a tree, but we'll hang some lights.
Yeah, I like your sister tells me all the time about she's like, you just get so into like Christmas. I'm like, it's fun. The whole entire thing's fun.
Especially
like, I was like, what was the typical Christmas setting up decorations? I was like, because when you got kids, it's a shit show anyway. They're not going to really help the whole entire time. They're like going to help for 2 minutes. But I remember helping. We always had at my dad's house, we always had a train track and built. So it was like super awesome,
Nice.
Total big thing to do. So that's one of the things as a kid, I always super loved it. But long story short, I was like, tell me what yours was. She's like, my mom would set up the whole entire tree and then put like 10 ornaments out that each me and my brother could put up. And then we would hang those up, and then that would be it. And then after we would go and leave the room, she would move them and put them where she wanted them in the first place. and that would be that.
And then we had a wreath on the front door.
I love it.
That was it. I was like, man.
Yeah, I don't remember ever hanging like lights around the outside of a house. House. I don't remember doing that. It's all just like inside decorations, putting stuff above the mantle on a fireplace or something like that. Not a whole lot.
Yeah, and I got way more shit on the outside of my house than I got a tree, and I think I have one other thing. I can't even think of what the hell it is.
Are you doing your thing where you keep upping yourself and buying an additional thing every year?
Yeah, we bought so we have a huge Grinch that's on the roof.
Nice.
That I added last year, and this year, like I said, I need to replace a couple of sets of strings of lights and stuff. So when we're going through Home Depot, Byron sees a little baby Grinch that's like 2.5 feet tall. Like, and had to have it. Thing's freaking awesome. Little cute guy that's out front. So I got that. Got more lights for the front, and now his little house that's in our backyard, this little playhouse, is all covered in lights. So
that's cool.
He had to get extra
so
lights.
Cool.
Yeah, so he wanted to decorate it the other day. So that was fun.
Andy, do you have decorations?
Oh God, yes. Listen, first off, we started like Halloween night. We started pulling stuff out, and we started, we break out all the regular stuff, And then my wife just kept adding and like 5 trips to Hobby Lobby and At Home later. And like, oh my God. I really wanted to do like a Grinch tree, like just decked out in Grinch, and they have some really cool ornaments. And so we ended up missing out on all of it. By the time we went back like a week ago, everything was sold out. So maybe we'll do that next year, just try to do some fun stuff. But like our entire living room, we have stockings for the dogs. We have, my wife wants to do like specific themes because we have the 2 trees. So the one in our bedrooms, like this and then that. And so it's crazy. I mean, you can see I've got a little Grinch sign. It actually lights up, and then I've got the tree. So we do it. And our kids have a tree. So we have a tree downstairs that's fake that we've had for probably like 6 or 7 years. I keep that thing up as long as possible because I'm getting my money's worth out of that damn thing. So we let them decorate that whole tree, and they actually like it. And a lot of it's like baby stuff or things that they've built or made over the last like 10, 12 years. So they actually enjoy it, but I'm surprised they didn't like the Christmas tree thing. So as they've gotten older, we've done destinations. So like we were supposed to go to Durango over Christmas break, like come home Christmas Eve. We're end up going in January, but that's kind of where we're at because they're older, is to like establish this we're in a cabin or something, family tradition type of thing. And then hopefully when they have families, we'll all do that. So that's kind of where we are. So you could do the fun little kid thing. And we did Disneyland 2 years ago, last year. Maybe we did last year.
Ryan, how many times did we say, or at least my parents say, that we're going to do some type of destination thing like that? And at the end of the day, I don't think anybody wants to plan anything. So at the end of the day, we're just like, yep, just doing our normal Christmas. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Listen,
It was like
Disneyland's a
3
blast.
years in a row they wanted to do that.
Yeah. And I'm one that, I'd rather stay home because I like Christmas at home.
Yeah.
Like, it's, at the same time, it just doesn't feel like Christmas here versus like Indiana because you don't get no snow or anything like that. But like,
even my kid said that too. We were at Disneyland and we were there till probably 23 or 24th, and we brought some cool presents for them. And Disneyland's just Christmased out to the max. And even they were like, I was like, oh, you're spoiled. You're just little ungrateful
and
rats.
Andy's the one that would literally like his office at work would also be crazy decked out in Christmas.
Chrissy
stuff.
too.
So, yeah. Chrissy would decorate the whole freaking office. She wasn't just her office. She would decorate the whole office.
Yep.
Didn't matter the holiday either. She was always going to decorate it, which was
She always made Roger decorate too. She'd put decorations around him because he's like, nah.
He's like, no.
Here's one thing that I did for Christmas. I bought security cameras for while we're gone.
Okay. What kind did you buy?
I accidentally bought these Wise ones because I got a
those are good.
W. Yeah, but none of them are battery powered.
Right.
And I didn't realize that after I bought it because I have the sweeper, like the robot sweeper from Wise, and I'm like, I'd love to use the same app, so I don't have a sweeper app, a lights app, a this app, a that app. So I went with the Google Nest ones.
Love those.
Yeah, only because I already have the Google app and I use Google for literally everything else.
Yeah.
So they're a little bit more expensive, but I heard from some of the reviews, because I review everything before I purchase it, that these are like the best battery ones that you can have.
Yeah, I have 3 or 4, and it's a fortune, but I love them. They're fantastic.
Yep. So that's my one Christmas decoration that I'll put up before we leave.
Now, I'm also jealous of Andy being allowed to have multiple Christmas trees and everything. I still have the leftover Christmas tree from the previous office that we closed down. And like, I tried to talk Katie into that like the last 2.5 years of like putting that up in the other room. And she's like, no.
Yeah, I mean, we have 4, right? We have 3. This one, you count this one in my office. That's 4. I got 1 downstairs and 2 up.
We have enough decorations for 4 Christmas trees. And I'm the one that's like, hey, you don't need an ornament on every branch. But my wife is like, no, we need 3 ornaments on every branch. So like, it's like super weighted down. So I'm like, can we just share this amongst another tree? But anyway, all right. You did mention something about your wife. You mentioned about your wife going to Hobby Lobby, right? And picking up a different stuff. And this leads into a topic that Ryan wanted to talk about, which is DIYing, right? And at what point is DIYing being absolutely so stupid and pointless? because there are times, right, Ryan, where it would cost you $10 to buy this, but you're going to walk out of Hobby Lobby or some DIY thing with $50 worth of things to make this item that doesn't even look as good as the thing that you could have bought for $10.
And I think there's a difference between DIYing. There's different types of DIYing.
Mhm. Yes.
There's
Yep.
I'm going to DIY around the house and put trim up and put this up and run electrical. That's a whole nother side of DIYing where I still think that could be useful doing it yourself and save you money.
Mhm.
The shit that I'm talking about that's not DIY helpful anymore is pot stands, shelves, all of this other stuff that you can literally just go buy on Amazon. It'll
Mhm.
save you time, and it'll probably be cheaper at the end when you're done buying stain for the wood, when you're done cutting everything because you don't have the tools and you have to rent them. And just like travel time between. I think
Yeah.
DIYing is overrated when you're trying to make stuff. You can just
Yeah.
buy it. Even if you're
Yeah.
talking big items like kitchen tables or some shit.
Yeah,
You want to build your own? No.
I think it would. There's certain things that it would still even tell. Like let's say a kitchen table, right? Like if you're looking at buying a farmhouse type of table, right? That yeah, for what you're gonna pay for, that thing ain't gonna last more than like a year and a half off of Amazon or something like that. Versus like the amount of money that you're gonna spend for again, if you have the tools for it, that's one thing. Right? If you already have the tools for it, but I would still agree with you. There's majority of things that are pointless. The ones that are completely pointless is if you ever get down the rabbit hole, whether it's on Instagram or TikTok, where it's like, hey, these are life hacks, and they start showing you like cutting up this bottle for this thing. It's like, what are you doing? Like,
Mhm.
Those are so dumb.
yeah, like
So
you
stupid.
cut a part off of a bottle and then you rubber band it on a cup in order to make a mug, or you just go get a mug because we all have a mug.
It's that one guy who goes like this.
Yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah, but like, so I went over to my buddy's place and he was like, yeah, I made this. Yeah, I made that. Oh, yeah, I made that. Like, that's cool.
Mhm.
Good for you. But you wasted your time
Mhm.
because, how much do you spend on that? Yeah, like maybe $100. Cool. Here's the link on Amazon. It was 25.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's the same thing. So DIYing around the house, totally different. Electrical, doing siding.
Crafting's absolutely stupid to ever try to do it yourself because you would literally you will go to Joann Fabrics, Hobby Lobby, wherever it is, you will spend $50 for a $10 product
Yeah.
every
It's
time,
stupid.
especially during
Not
Christmas.
if you sell it on Etsy.
We made a wreath the one time, and we literally spent like $35, and the wreath that we could that
Ugh.
looked better, and it came out with could have been $15.
Mhm.
$15,
Ugh.
so we just bought the damn wreath.
But so let me ask you this. Do you consider carving your own pumpkin DIY?
No.
No, you
Okay.
can't buy a pre-carved pumpkin.
But
You can buy a pre-carved plastic pumpkin. Yes, you can.
that's right.
Yes.
So
Yes, you
with
could.
lights, I just have to plug it in. I don't have to do any of that. There's no mess.
So that's holiday related, and that's like, hey, it's Halloween. This
Okay.
is gonna be festive, and I don't consider that DIYing. This is
Okay.
like, oh man, I really love to
Shit
put
around
some
the house.
plants around here. Let me go build my own shelves.
No.
No.
Do you feel like you wish you had some skills? Because like there are things. First off, I'm not handy. I don't need power tools. I might miss a couple fingers. But the one thing that I wish I had skills in is electrical. I'd run all kinds of wires and fucking lights and who knows what. I wish I had that.
Yep.
And I would be I don't know what it would even be as a DIYer, but like I would just hack my own house. You know what I'm saying? Like I just add stuff because I can and it'd be
Yeah.
fun.
So yeah, so those wired lights that I bought from Wise, one, I didn't even realize it, but once I bought them, I was like, well, I don't want to return them. I'm going to try to run some wire myself.
Sure.
Now, in the event of time and I needed something that worked because we're leaving and whatever, I just bought battery ones, but I was YouTubing it. I was looking everything
Yeah.
up because I could absolutely run it. And I think it'd be really cool to do that myself.
Same.
I really want to adjust where some power strips are or some power outlets are, not inside my home, but on the outside, to stop running wire all over that's visible around the house. So yes, absolutely. I'm 100% with you. Wish I could be some type of electrician. Also, wish I could have carried my grandpa's woodworking skills down as
Oh, yeah,
well.
that'd be
And I know
cool.
that gets down to the DIYing type of stuff. Not saying I would do that DIYing stuff because I'm not trying to contradict what I'm saying here, but having the skills to do that and make a present for somebody, make other
Yeah,
things.
like that was his
is-
hobby, right? Like that
That's a
was the thing.
hobby.
It's like he was
Mm.
that was just his hobby, and he had all the
Yep.
tools and everything to do it. So it was like, hey,
Yeah.
he's going out and tinkering in the afternoon for that. That's what he wanted to go and do, and that's
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
he
cool.
ended up creating stuff. So it was a lot more fun.
There's a guy in my neighborhood like that. He's always in his garage and he's got all this woodworking stuff and he's in there building cabinets and shelves and everything like every weekend. And there's times I want to go be like, hey, what's it going to cost if I want like a dresser or I'll pay you? And it's just an older guy. And I think he just does it for fun. Like that's just his thing. So I can
Hey,
appreciate
you want to put your hand in my pocket and get a piece of
Mhm.
candy?
if I get a free dresser all day, put two hands in there.
What? Oh, all right. Let's go something more lighthearted. That's fun. That's gonna be each one of us has to answer with one thing, just one. I want your best one. All right.
Ooh.
How do you surprise a blind man? Okay. This is. I want you to think of your best one. Do you guys need a moment, or do you want me to go?
I have so many that I could just.
It
So
needs
you
to be your
guys
best
go.
one. I need your number one. So I'm gonna give you my number one. All right. You leave the plunger in the toilet. Handle up.
Oh boy.
All right. All right.
Ryan's like-
The visualization. Everybody think about it. Think about it. It's middle of the night.
Ooh.
You gotta go. You getting up. You got a little, a little woo-hoo surprise. All right.
Andy, go ahead, man. Yeah, go ahead. I love
Uh,
mine. I love it. I just thought I'd
I'm
just now
looking.
too.
I'm looking this up. I have no idea.
Oh,
I
okay.
have
So,
no clue.
and this is like a surprise you could do everywhere for a blind man.
It could
This
be
isn't-
any type of surprise. Like mine
Yeah.
went.
Yeah, you could do that every time
Mine
they
was-
sit down on the toilet.
I internalized mine.
Mine's every time there's a step, just say, hey, there's some steps right there. And then just like there's no steps. They just sit there and freak out because they're like, where is it? And then you're just like, it's right in front of you. And you say it every time. Even though there's no
Just step up.
stairs.
Step up.
Step up,
Step up. Yeah. Yeah.
step down, step down.
So I looked it up, and it takes me to this Reddit thread, and it says leave the plunger, and then the next comment is that's how Helen Keller lost her virginity.
Oh my gosh.
Oh,
Thank you,
we have
Reddit.
been-
So
we have been canceled.
What are some other ones on there?
the best one though, the comment right after that, too soon.
Too soon. Too soon.
Oh shit.
Mm.
Oh,
Andy, what are
man.
some other ones on there?
This one says a boob, a vagina, and an asshole are debating who is the greatest of the three. Boob, I produce milk for babies and I'm attractive to the opposite sex. Vagina, that's nothing. I give birth to babies and can accommodate the opposite sex. Oh, let me click on it. Why are you still scrolling down? It's your never mind. I got trolled.
I was talking about the blind
Yeah.
guy thing.
Oh, never mind. I got nothing, man. I've gone through 3 different articles and there's nothing other than the plunger one.
You could just say like slam the door in his face. He'll know
I
no
like
difference.
I like the steps. I was gonna say step down because I think that'd be funny to like watch
Mhm.
somebody try to do that.
Yeah, you keep putting your foot out there.
I don't know. I was trying to think of something with like explosives, like,
Oh
like
my
literal surprise.
God.
Whoa, man! You
We're not trying to hurt anybody. Well, I guess
I don't know,
Ryan
like
is.
just some fun little black
like
hats. or something.
Ryan had
Just-
another one where it was like change out his water for vodka. You know, ask him if he wants a Mento, and it's really just X-Lax.
Sure.
I mean, there's all different kinds of things that you could really go with that.
Do you turn off the lights and he just assumes it's dark outside now?
Turn the lights down low. Ryan, that one was below the belt.
Oh boy.
Okay. All right. Do we want to? Both of these have to do with fish. Do we want to go to seafood? Or do we want to go to the catfish story?
I vote catfish
All right. So,
Okay.
because this is something I don't know.
all right. So, we're going to set this up here, right?
Okay.
Set it up. Andy, sometimes, throughout the day, as we all do, we check our Instagram, we check our socials, right? And in a decent amount of time, they've updated all the spam filters to try to block people, that just randomly reach out, want to be a friend request. We all get, as three dudes, we all get the friends request. It's like, hey, and it's like, looks like some cleave. And it's like, hey, I want to be your best friend. And like, clearly, it's just a bot. Yeah, you don't even feel like accepting the friend request because it's not even a person. First and foremost. Second off, there's just nothing good that can come out of this. But Andy had one that intrigued him enough to move forward in the conversation with an individual.
In depth.
And
now, to be fair, there's some background here pre this. Anytime, like, I'm sure you've gotten random text messages too, where it's like,
yes,
hey, whatever. So I actually got one of those in February, and it was a photo like this. I got this like, hey, I've been thinking about you. Okay.
You're like, first off, I don't even know you, so why would you? Yeah.
Then the next text was a picture of this woman's face. And then it's like, oh, sorry, wrong person. Or is it ... And I haven't responded. And then I get a photo, like I get this naked photo. And it's like, okay, we're going to have some fun here. So my response then is, I might even still have it. Something along the lines of like, holy cow, I got to show my buddies this. And then like there was a response. And my response back was, hey, I'm actually at school right now, but do you think we could play Fortnite later today? I'll have to ask my mom if she can add you as my friend because I'm only 14. But I'm definitely sending this to all of my buddies. Like, you don't even know. It just went off. There was zero response after that. Zero response. So I'm all about it. Like, I think it's fun. So
does your wife know, or did your wife find out, or like no?
No, I didn't tell her about that one because she's just like, you're an idiot, right?
That could have been like something you go in on, and she's like, yeah.
But I still have it on my phone, so if she ever found it, I'm like, you can see the fucking conversation.
Yeah.
So then, I don't know, a couple weeks ago, for sake of the conversation, I get a friend request from this person, and initially it said that they were friends with Anthony. So I was like, okay, it was this girl. Well, all right, fine, whatever. Half the time I don't even pay attention. I'm like, yeah, yes. Sometimes I'll just click accept. I don't even pay attention. This is on Instagram. And then they immediately start chatting me up like, hey, how are you? All this. And I was like, who are you? Why are you messaging me? Oh, I was just trying to make friends. And I'm like, all right, it was fucking weird, whatever. I didn't even think anything of it because I just thought it was stupid and I just moved on. So we have this conversation, just like meaningless back and forth. Again, I'm like, why are you just find people on Instagram and ask to be their friends and then ask them questions? Like, okay, I guess so. That's one way to be social. Sure, whatever. So nothing comes from it because the whole time I'm like, this is a scam. I'm waiting for can you help me? Like my dad's the deposed Nigerian king and I need money to like get his.
Hey, baby, come over and hang out.
Exactly. So I'm waiting for that. Nothing happens. And there was probably like a couple days where it was just like back and forth, meaningless conversation. So about a week or two go by. And this was the day I hit right up. So it was like a Tuesday. And I get a message from this person. It was like, hey, how are you? And I was like, good. Oh, I should stop there. I told this person because they asked me what I do. I said, well, I make content online. I'm like, well, what does that mean? Because as we started talking, the conversation that I would get back didn't make sense, like grammatically. So at that point, I was like, okay, this is not somebody that speaks English as their first language because it just didn't make any sense. So I was like, I make content online. Well, what does that mean? Well, have you ever heard of OnlyFans? And they're like, no, what is that? And I said, well, you should go look it up. That's what I do. And then so they're like, okay. So then I basically tell them I make adult content online through OnlyFans. And then I found like some random links on Pornhub and I was like, here, this is one of the videos, whatever. So then I got back, don't ask me to send you that kind of stuff. And I was like, oh, whatever. You're an Indian guy named like Rajiv or some shit. Like, I'm not going to send me anything, bro. Come on. So now, mind you, in the profile of this person, they're actively posting photos and like they have this dog and this child and whatever. And it's
Interesting.
this woman who's like this blonde lady. She tells me that she works in the Air Force and that she lives in like Maryland or something. Like, okay, Tammy, sure.
Yeah.
You go to the nail salon. Her name's Tammy. So I tell her that's what I do. So then, like, so now catch up. 2 weeks go by. Like, hey, how are you? I was like, good. And then I get this. You forgot about me. I said, what the fuck are you talking about? Well, I haven't heard from you in the last 2 weeks. I said, well, to be fair, I haven't heard from you. Oh, okay, I guess so. Then I get it. Dear, I need your help. I have a favor. And I was like, yes.
Here we go.
I canceled a meeting at work because I was like, I am in. Let's go. Strap up, baby, because I'm ready to go. Because I know this is gonna get weird. So to be fair, too, I didn't have anything else, but I canceled this 30-minute call. I was like, guys, we're pushing this. So anywho, so I get that. And then it's like, my phone is disabled. I got a picture of a disabled iPhone, which if your phone's disabled, how the fuck are you messaging me through Instagram? Maybe you're on your computer, but like, I'm not an idiot. Also, if you're in the military and you're on base, you're not messaging me through Instagram. Like I'm not. So anywho, my phone's disabled. I need to send money to my nana or granny for my daughter. Blah blah. Would you help me out and send me $100 Steam gift card? Now, for those of you that don't know, Steam is like this online e-commerce for video games. Why in the F would you ask me to send you a Steam gift card? It makes no sense at all.
For gaming.
Right. So
Not for your grandma.
So let me pull this up as I'm going through this, because I was just like,
what's crazy is so many people fall for that type of scam. Not like this lead in, but they fall for regardless. If it's the IRS. The IRS called me and like, you owe back taxes. Okay, well, you got to get this handled because you owe $5,000. All right, you got to go to Walmart and buy all these gift cards and then give us the number. It's like, what? At that point, why doesn't it click to people that's like, wait, why are you asking for this when there's Venmo? I literally could Venmo you or wire it to you. Like,
yeah. So here's the conversation. Like this goes on forever. So I get this thing like, hey, I need help. But prior to that, it was like, it says, dear, how long meter from your office to your house? So again, the context is like bad English. So I'm like, why are you asking me how far away I am from my office? So there was at one point I was like, is this my fucking wife? Is she trying to like catfish me and like see where this is gonna go? I was like, no, because she doesn't do that.
She wouldn't think that they have the broken English like that. She might play you, but like not that well.
It reminded me of on Meet the Parents where it was like Jack Talk Thai good. Remember he does that shit? Okay. So, dear, I want a favor from you. I need you to help me on something. So I was like, possibly. Okay, I need to send money to my nanny who takes care of my daughter, but my phone was just disabled and needs some update. And I said, oh, bummer. My second phone, do you mind getting me a Steam card, $100 with the $ at the end? Again, that's not how we do things in this country. I can pay you back if you don't mind. So I said, sure, you got to do me a favor first. Okay, what that? So I basically was like, I don't know you. I don't send money to normal people. I don't even send money to my friends or family. I'm not doing this. I was like, but let's arrange a business deal. I was like, so I've told you what kind of business I'm in and that I create content. And I said, if you give me content for my business, I'll pay you $100. And they're like, what content? I said, well, do you remember what I do? And they're like, yeah. And I said, well, I have a website where people send us content. We post it. I was like, so send me videos of you and I'll post it online. And they were like, some video of me, naked video, ? I was like, that's right. Okay. So then it goes, oh, please.
Now who's catfishing who?
Right. Yeah, I know exactly.
Because listen, not to be fair, I had no idea what to expect, but I was like, I don't know what to do with this. I'm just going to have some fun and like see what happens. Because I knew I knew it wasn't I wasn't talking to a real woman. There's just no chance. And even if it was a woman, I knew that I wasn't getting something intimate and personal from somebody. It was just gonna be some shit from the some shit from online. But I thought I'll just have some fun and see how far is somebody willing to go to try to scam me, because I watch all these videos on YouTube and TikTok about them scamming the scammers. I'm like, I'm gonna have some fun. So I work inside the military base. Can't make a video of that, please. A risk one deer. I will definitely pay back. So the more broken English I get, the more I'm like, we're going deeper down this rabbit hole, baby. Like, let's go. Just need you to help me so I can get done money sent to my daughter as well. Like, I'll bore everybody to death with their bad English. So basically I was like, look, I don't do that. I was like, if you send me something, we'll Photoshop out your face. Like, none of this stuff, you will never even know. They're like, well, what exactly do you want me to send you? Now, I'm texting Ryan the entire time. He's like, shut your mouth. This is not real.
I literally thought you were trying to punk me. I was like, because at first I thought you were legit. And then like, as it went on, I'm like, no, there's no way that this is legit. Then he starts sending me screen captures of what he's reading. I'm like, holy shit.
So my gosh. They're like, what type of video do you want me to like send you? Like, asking what I would like to see. So I like went through, I'll spare you the details, but it was like, it wasn't wildly graphic, but it was like wildly inappropriate, right? It's basically just like this, it's you doing
like
this stuff.
Now, did you write it back in broken English? Or
no.
Oh man, that's what I would have done.
I didn't do that.
So I would have been like, two fingers.
Two finger
no
butt.
Yeah, like it's like literally like just leaving
Question
things out
number
that like
one.
Yeah.
Do you have a cat?
Yeah, right. I should have.
Get the cat.
So basically I was like, it has to be 3 to 5 minutes. Like, it can't be any less. I can't do it. Like, and so I'm like getting super technical, because why not? Like, at this point, who gives a shit? So they were like, I can't include my face. I was like, I got you. Don't worry about this, girl. Like, we'll cut that shit out. Like, we'll be fine. Then I get
again, you're actually not trying to get something. You're just like, how ridiculous can this conversation go?
So then it says, how many second will that be? And I said, well, it depends. It's like, it's on you. I'm asking you to do this. How long is it going to take you to do this thing? Like, okay. So then they start asking me, well, if I do this, how, like, you're going to pay me? So I said, well, no, I don't pay you. We have an accounting team that pays you, but it's going to take 2 days. Like, is this, you don't just get money. Like, we don't do that. I have to process this. I made up a bunch of shit.
Oh my God.
So like, no joke, man. I made a Gmail that was like some random video entertainment, blah, blah, blah. And I made this.
You went far. You were going far.
I did. So I'm thinking,
you better have a good ending to the story.
You're on some FBI list at this point.
Probably. Now. So then they were like, who am I sending this video to? I was like, oh, it'll come right to me. I'm not thinking they're going to just send it through Instagram. I was like, they're going to email it to you. It's like, okay. So then they're like, who's making the payment? So I went on to talk about my accountant. Here's what they do. There's this process that I just made up in my mind. And then I was like, okay, listen, if you don't feel comfortable doing this, let's just call it out. It's fine. No big deal. And then.
No. Wait. I'll do it.
Yeah. So then it goes, I didn't need a joke here. I don't know why they said that, but I'm sending the video to you. So you're making the payment to me. I just need a Steam card. Do you know what time you are giving me? I don't know what that means. So then she's like, this person's like, okay, I'm at work. I'll be done by 12. It's 8:45 in the morning, BTW. This, like, I'm probably 45 minutes into this. This is 8 o'clock in the morning. So it says, we'll be done by 12. I will give a try to what you want, but I need no game here. I said, no games. Why a Steam card? I told you I need it to update my phone. Oh, now you speak perfect English, right? So I can send money to my daughter. I have my bank app in that phone, so can access the phone, blah, blah. It's like, okay. So they're like, I sent you a photo.
Just Steam still doesn't make sense. It literally, you could have done any other gift card. You could just said Applebee's and it would have been better.
Yeah, so your cellular service is through Steam.
Sure. So then I get, we have some back and forth, and it's like, okay, I'm home. Hope I get the payment once I send the video. And I was like, I told you, this isn't going to be like this instant turnaround. Like, this is not just a quick transaction. She was like, well, how long do I have to wait? So 48 hours. I was like, tomorrow. So look, I know some people, I could pull some strings. Like, maybe I could get it tomorrow. Like,
oh my God.
Like, you're like
$100.
Like, at this point, you've canceled a few more meetings, and you're like, I'm just going along with this. I just need to
So-
set you actually need to set up a actual business model.
I know. So Ryan and I actually talked about that. Like, could this be a thing? Like, what if you don't want to go through that process and like you just want to like take photos and video,
Oh man,
whatever?
Andy, was it you that I was talking to at some point where I was like, I feel like people need help setting up OnlyFans accounts, and I was like,
Yeah.
I feel like you could make a whole business model out
Absolutely
of that,
could.
you know, doing feet pics.
Dude, totally. So go back and forth. And it's like, allow me. It says, just allow me get the best I can. Some minutes. Okay. Okay, sure. So then, like 15 minutes later, hey, I got something. This is what I have. Don't ask for another, please. And I'm like, okay. So they send me this video, and it's like 10 seconds.
You don't
Like
you
a
don't even
tank.
need to don't even explain
Yeah.
the video. Just explain the main points of the video that just made
So-
it.
The person in all the photos in the profile and like their account isn't this. Duh. Person has blonde hair. This person has brown hair. This person has tattoos, like noticeable tattoos on their arm, like a few, not a full sleeve, but like in enough places where what I'm looking at, there's no tattoos. So I was like, you have tattoos, so I can't tell that this is you. And this person has brown hair. And they're like, what do you mean brown hair? What do you mean? What do you mean? So then they're like, I have tattoo, but it not permanent. So I have none now. And I was like, okay.
What adult
Again,
has temporary
yeah.
tattoos on a large scale?
So basically I was like, the hair on this person is brown or black. You can see it behind their ear. LOL, that my hair. Mm-hmm. I was like, so basically, now we're going back and forth. And I was like, I can't use this. This is shit. You sent me shit. I told you it needed to be like A, B, and C. You gave me something totally different. Plus, that's not even you. I don't know what you gave me. I don't know who it was, all this stuff. So at this point, I was like, all right, you've wasted my time. So, because I mean, I knew that was going to happen anyways. So I start telling him, like, listen, I know you don't live in, no. Actually, before I got to that point, I said, okay, listen, I'll make you a deal. I'll be in Maryland or wherever the fuck they're that. I was like, what if we meet up? Okay, and what would we do? Well, we're gonna make content. Like, I'm like not together, but like I'll be there and like I'll set it up for you and you can do whatever you want. Okay, well, I'll have to think about that. And then at that point, I was like, all right, I think I had to go to work or some actually like do
I
something.
actually had to do something productive.
Yeah.
for the
It's
day.
now 10 o'clock a.m.
This is at 10 o'clock. It might actually be. Let me see. Yeah, it's 11:30 at this point. So then I was just like, look, none of this makes any sense. I was like, you're telling me you're in the Air Force? Okay, I know. I think I said a general in the Air Force, and I spoke to her about you. She's never even heard of you. I don't care what he says. I'm in the Air Force, blah, blah, all this shit. So then I was like, Brian and I were going back and forth. He's like, you should like turn it around on them. So I was like, okay. So I said, I scroll through all the other nonsense. I was like, that's not you. This is real. I searched your images. So I did try to reverse image the photo that they have on their profile. I tried to do a couple of them, but every site I found was like, you have to pay for it. But at that point, I was like, I'm too invested. I don't give a shit. I need to move on from this. So then I said, I was like, I was really hoping you were real. Your photos are very attractive, and I was very excited for this video. I figured maybe we could get to know each other, and who knows, maybe settle down and have some kids, and you could be a stay-at-home mom.
Oh my
I could
God.
make my videos, and we can get a season pass to Disneyland and enjoy life. Maybe sneak off and have some fun behind the rides or on the rides. I was like, but that dream will have to wait. Now, at this point, they have not responded back. So I said some other stuff, and I was like, so then the next day, I was like, are we still friends? No response. So then Brian's like, you should turn it back around.
Yeah,
then
I was
and
like,
tell
tell him that you got into some big jam and you need some money for web hosting.
So I write
in the
back.
form of Home Depot gift
Yeah.
cards.
So I write back, hey dear, I need your help desperately, because they always say I need your help desperately. I was like, so we were hacked and I need to pay the hackers a ransom to get my business back up. They froze everything. Any way you can help me. For some reason, they're asking for Steam cards just like you did. Because you send me $100 and I could return you $500. I need to do this in the next hour. They would delete thousands of videos and photos. Please help. Oh, and also they took the video that you sent me. So this is urgent. So no response. 2 days later, I get a response. Fuck. That's it.
You didn't tell
So-
me that part. I didn't know
Yeah,
that.
So that's where it ends. And you can see it like right down there. And that's it. So I haven't like deleted them from and like blocked them from my because I'm just curious at this point. So then I was like, you know what? I should just be an asshole and like go to each person that they're friends with and be like, do you know this person? Whatever. It's like, again, I'm too invested. I don't give a shit. I had fun. That was a good like 2.5 hours or whatever. So we're going back and forth about it. And I'm just like, I could do this all day long. I would love to get, scammers. So now I've probably gotten like a handful of requests from really pretty girls that want to be my friend. And I'm just like, I don't have enough time in the day anymore. Like I've been busy the last couple weeks. I don't have time to mess around with you and your dumb shit. But it's just sad to see that people will go through the most ridiculous shit that they think we're idiots that like, and I would love to meet
are idiots though.
a man
Oh, yeah.
that
You
would
give
fall
them
for
money.
this nonsense, man.
Yeah.
That's
well,
why they do it.
Exactly. Yeah. Like, and people fall for it so often. Like, not, you should, my wife works for a financial institution, and she's just like, man, so many people get taken because they overseas romances and this and that. And I'm like, well, so it's all old people? She's like, well, I'm not supposed to say like actual stuff. But she's like, but no, it's not just old people.
It's
I'm
nuts.
like, I was like, I don't understand how that happens. I was like,
No.
I don't. I know. I was like, I lived by myself for like almost 10 years. I was like, I get being lonely, but I was like, I was never felt like I would fall for something like that.
Yeah.
You know,
So it was fun.
where
It was a
I'd be
good
like,
day.
let me wire you $150,000, because your grandma needs it.
No. But to be fair, so my grandfather lives with us and he's 82. And there's so many times where he's like, I got this message from Microsoft and it wants me to call this number because my computer's messed up and they want me to buy it. I was like, the computer's never going to tell you to call somebody ever.
Yeah.
Or a lot of the times he gets this, your PayPal account has been hacked. And he's like, well, what do I do? I don't want him to take my credit card. I go, do you have a PayPal account? He goes, no. What is that? I said, so you're telling me you're worried your PayPal account's going to get hacked or they're going to take your credit card, but you don't even have one or know what it is? How does that make sense to you? I'm like, I feel bad for trying to be like saying like being an asshole to him, but I'm like, logically think through this. So there's times where I've had to be like, delete whatever you're doing or stop what you're doing because I'm surprised he's never had his identity stolen for some of the shit that he's clicked on or gotten himself into. They just don't know. He has no clue. Right.
One of them almost got me though, not like almost because I wasn't even close to like giving them what they needed, but like I thought about it for so long. And it was one where they, throughout your work, they email you from the exact same email of like the CEO. And our old owner was like, he would do something like this. Hey, Ryan, this is really nice. Go get like 60 or not 60, but like 6 Amazon cards to hand out to customers. And he would do that. So that's why I was like, yeah, I mean, I guess I could. That's pretty thoughtful, like, okay. And then I started thinking about it. I read it multiple times. I'm like, why would he not just call me or text me personally? Why would he email if this is urgent? Why are you emailing? I eventually brought my manager in and she was like, she apparently has seen this before and I have not. But it is very tricky sometimes that the stuff that they go through to try to get you to pay them.
Yeah, like you can spoof an address so easy, and like it happens over like we literally get probably 50 of them a day from to our CEO and all of us as execs at the company that I work for. I tell them all the time, I was like, all you have to do is look at the email address. And they're like, yeah, but it says such and such person, which is the CEO. I was like, read the email address. And they're like, 1843jry.abc4@gmail.com. I was like, is that the address of our company? Well, no, but it still says his name.
When we worked at Massage MB, I think, Brian, you were probably over at Elements at this time, but we had this, a colleague has sent you a greeting card, click to open it, email scam.
That one hacked the whole entire network over there.
Dude. So everybody got it and we're like, sketchy. One girl, Jamie Lana, I know she'll never watch this, so it doesn't matter. I can call her out. She freaking clicks on it, man. Cox was like, you're done, and basically shut down the entire freaking network. We had nothing. We had no email or internet for probably a good 2 or 3 hours. The IT team was just like, what's wrong with you? Why would you do that? And these were going around, and probably like 20 minutes before she clicked on it, they sent, do not click on this email. This is a scam or whatever. And of course, she hadn't gotten to that in her inbox. And so she clicked on it, saw it, and then realized like, oh shit, I shouldn't have done that. We even have this at my job now, and folks will get a text message from allegedly the CEO, and people that have worked there long enough believe that it's him because they've had that type of personal relationship with him. And I even pulled it up here, and it was like, I need you to handle a short but urgent task. Thanks, John Harms, who's the CEO of the company who started Harms Software. And so IT will have to like, guys, this isn't, don't do this.
Yeah,
This isn't real.
This
Guys,
isn't.
What are you doing? So it's crazy, man. But listen, it was a good time, and I'm all for it. I'll do that shit all day long and mess with these people. So
I now I feel like we just need to make a whole YouTube show about people that friend request and then try to scam, and we make a whole. Because I mean, there's a whole bunch of YouTube guys that like literally guys that literally scam the scammers and like delete all the stuff off their computer, or the guy that literally just tries to keep them on the phone as long as possible. You know, like those are all shticks. Like, and they're straight awesome. I love the guy that deletes all the shit off their computers like that.
I like the one where he hacks in and he can see their camera in their call center.
Yeah, that's the same guy. They'll delete some because they use like PC Anywhere, and
it's amazing.
He knows like the settings you set before they connect, and it'll actually be the inverse. So where you're logging into their computer rather than them logging into yours.
Oh my god.
Dude, he's like, how's your lunch? How's so-and-so? And he's like calling them out one by one, and they're like, what? They're freaking out. They don't know what to do. It's fantastic. I love it.
I want to watch this guy.
And then they'll get hung up on, and then he'll just call him back.
Hey, you hung up on me. How did you get this number?
I like the guy who has the voice changer as like an older woman, like an elderly woman, and then he takes the money from them or he deletes their files. That's great. And they're screaming at him.
He's the one that they tell him to go get Amazon gift cards or Google gift cards and stuff, and he's already got some just because he likes to play the game. And they're like, okay, well, you go to this website and then type this in, and he's got a screen share so they actually see his computer. But he goes to the wrong website and starts buying like videos and different stuff, and they're like, what? I thought that's what you wanted me to do. They're like, no, don't click it, no. Dude, Ryan, if you've never gone onto YouTube and looked up the scam
I've seen
guys,
a couple of them, but I need to see this guy that you guys are talking about.
Oh yeah, and these are two different guys. They're like the two main guys that do everything. And like, they're freaking
it's so rewarding of like your justice for all the shit that they've taken from people.
Yeah, the one guy that like logs in and takes stuff, like he deletes like 7 terabytes of data off of this guy's computer, and it must be like the main database because like they all start freaking out, and he's like, no, you give it back to me. He's like, you give it back. I'm sorry, I will never do this again. He's like, well, then why do you need the information? Because it's like got people's. He like literally is seeing it. It's got credit card numbers, phone numbers, addresses, social security. He's like, they have like everything. He's like almost everything that they need to do anything.
This guy needs to be working for somebody else besides making YouTube
videos. But to be fair, he's probably making 10 times more doing that than he needs to, or he would with a legit.
Yeah, so we need to make a new show. That's when people new friend here, new friend who this.
Listen, if you get a scam, send it over. We'll have a good time with it.
Yeah, who this new scam. All right, well, let's go ahead and finish it up here, and just talk about really quick one last thing because it's bothering the shit out of me. Recently, because I got a great deal, because it's like for like $4 for the whole entire year. I got Peacock, NBC's thing, and mostly because I only wanted to watch one thing, which was the Pitch Perfect bumper in Berlin, which looks so dumb. And I wasn't.
Perfect thing.
There's a Pitch Perfect TV show. It's a Pitch Perfect TV show, which is it's called Bumper in Berlin. So. Bumper gets called by one of the Das Sound Machine guys because one of his TikTok videos is going famous. So anyway, it's only on Peacock. So you got to get Peacock to have it. If you need something, Ryan, give me a call. So anyway, so like great. However, I paid for the premium plan. Yes, it was extremely discounted, but I paid for the premium plan. I have to watch like 3 ads throughout the whole entire show, which annoyed the absolute out of me because why? Why do I have to watch ads when I paid for the premium plan? Like, I get that there's ads if I didn't pay for the massively premium plan, right? It just annoys me. Which also goes into the fact of been recently watching Wednesday on Netflix, which if you haven't started watching that, it is a great freaking probably the best Addams Family thing I've ever seen in my entire life, and that's saying a lot. So that's on Netflix. But TV show intros that you're forced to, watch. At least they now have the skip feature every once in a while. Does that annoy anybody else? Well, either of those things?
Yeah, especially because I watch The Office. So sometimes on Peacock, you can't skip the intro. I hate that.
Yeah, it's just completely annoying. And just like, yeah, I can't stand it either. Ryan, how about you with TV show intros or ads?
I'm a YouTube TV guy, which I know you guys are as well. But they have that new button that you can skip commercials, and it goes to like a relaxing scenery. Have you guys ever experienced that?
I have not even seen this.
It's on live TV.
What?
You got to be watching live TV, and during a commercial, you can not skip the time slot of the commercial and go to the TV show. You can't do that. But instead of listening to some whatever commercial, whatever's on, you can hit skip, and it'll go to like some big mama bear and her cubs in the woods, just like with relaxing like outside noise music and stuff. And I freaking love it. I try to hit it as much as I can.
Does it automatically jump back after the commercial's done, or do you got to click the button to see if it's out of commercial?
So I'm pretty sure they do it at the last commercial. That way, after that last time slot, then it just goes back to the normal show and doesn't kick back to another commercial.
Okay.
But it is really cool. But
I don't
if
watch
you're talking to other shows, yeah, it's on live TV only. I'm pretty sure. Because if it was just like a normal like recorded, then you'd just be able to skip it anyways.
Yeah.
Did you notice the interface changed on YouTube TV? Like their guide for the live, it changed. So today I logged in and it was totally different.
Huh. I was watching today. No.
What do you look at it on, Andy? Are you on the computer or
on
are
my
you
Apple
on
TV.
Roku? Okay, because I have it on
Apple TV.
Roku. I haven't launched it today, but it's been the same on Roku.
So when you go to live TV, it typically just loads the guide and like you start from whatever channel, whether you have an alphabetical order or your favorites. So today, when I turned it on, it shows there's tiles for shows that I can either jump into or rewatch like it would for home, but then the guide's underneath it, and the guide now looks more like the DirecTV guide. Yeah, it's very interesting.
It's unique. Haven't seen that one yet. I'll have to go ahead and check it out. Well, I mentioned 2 different things that I've recently been watching. Andy, what have you been watching recently?
Yellowstone. My wife likes that. I like watching it for just the scenery. It's just a gorgeous place. I think they filmed some in Wyoming and Utah. It's just, just the nature is just amazing. I got into this show called The Peripheral or Peripherals. It's on Amazon. It's fucking fantastic.
Yes, please.
So, it's like Ready Player One meets. There was this show that Bruce Willis did where they have these avatars, and then people were like killing the avatars.
Oh yeah, it's like
then
Lifeless or something.
Yeah, something like that. But then, so it's sort of all of that mixed together. It's been fantastic. I think I'm in like the 4th or 5th episode, and the simulation that they go into is real. And she's like, you take over this like robot body, but then it's in the future. Like it's crazy. It's fantastic though. Super sci-fi. Awesome.
Yeah.
Now I'm going to have to watch
it. It's a great show and on Amazon Prime. Yeah. And the best part about this, like shows that you get into when you haven't watched them in a while and you're like, crap, I'm probably a couple behind. That's the best. I was 3 episodes behind on The Peripheral. I just watched all of them. 2 days ago or 3 days ago or something. Maybe it was Sunday. I can't remember, but awesome.
Somebody was talking about that once too, that it was like, there are certain shows that suck if you have to watch them week to week versus shows that it's same show and you're just able to binge it. It's like it no longer sucks. It's just like how they write the story arcs and things in certain manners that just doesn't work for what they think it does. Anyway,
there's a show on Apple TV that I've gotten into. It's called The Mosquito Coast, something like that, and it's really good too. And it's just like this family, and this man's like this wildly genius wizard of like he can just make stuff. Like he just builds these crazy things and whatever. And so their family's just on the run from like all levels of government, and they're like hiding out. It's pretty good. I started getting in that one, but Peripheral's fantastic.
Now I'm gonna have to add it Peripherals to my.
You will not be
list.
disappointed because I know you like stuff like that. So
Oh, yeah.
it'll be worth it. And then every once in a while, I'll throw on Silicon Valley just when I want to laugh because
Dude.
When does Ted Lasso come back on?
It keeps getting delayed. Like literally, they have not announced when it's coming back. I think they're still recording it based upon some of the Instagram things that I've seen from the actors.
Such a good show.
Ryan, what are you watching?
I'm watching The Peripheral.
Oh, you're watching that one too?
Yeah, that's the only one I'm actually watching right now. Everything else is just live TV, and I'll throw on South Park all day.
My oldest daughter started getting into Family Guy, and she'll every once in a while I hear her around the house, and she's like giggity. I'm like, stop it, stop it. Like you're too young to appreciate the raunchiness of the show. She's like, Dad, it's so funny. Everybody watches it.
But is she? That's really the thing.
No, she knows. I hope she doesn't know, but like she fucking knows.
All right. Well, we appreciate everybody watching, listening, and following us. If you haven't already, please follow us on any of the podcasts. If you are listening, please rate us. Give us a 5-star rating because it always helps out, and share it with your friends and family. But we appreciate it, and we will see you guys all next week.